Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. And today we're going to be talking about having a slow PC at your job. Man, that's friggin' frustrating. I've had this problem before, so we're going to be talking about that. But before I get into that, I do want to tell you about the awesome sponsor that we have at Simple Programmer, which is Hired.com. So Hired. You can check out Hired if you just go to hired.com/simple programmer. Make sure you use that link. I'll tell you why in a second here. But what they do is basically this, right? So you know that frustration of sending out all these resumes and applying for all these jobs and you never hear back and the recruiters are calling you and all this kind of crap with going through a job search. I haven't had to do a job search in a while, but I remember that shit. So what Hired does is they basically make this simple. They make this is how it should be, right? You fill out one application on their platform. They put you on the platform. The employers look and they say, oh, look, we're looking for a guy that has a skill. They find you. They specifically offer you interviews. So you don't have to go through all that song and dance and all that BS and all that stuff. And they filtered it out. They've got good employers on there. They filter, they do it on both sides. So they make sure that they only have high quality candidates and they only have high quality employers. So it might not be a match for you if you're not a high quality candidate, okay? Just letting you know. Or if you're not in their geographic area, they have, they have certain areas that they service, but you might as well check it out and see, right? So go to hire.com/simple programmer. And if you use that link, what will happen is if you get a job with Hired, instead of getting $1,000, they're going to pay you $2,000. So just for using that link. So go check it out. Go support Simple Programmer. Just check it out because it's cool. Anyway, let's go on. Let's move on to talk about having a slow PC at the job. I was trying to figure out why my neck hurts, by the way. I'm like, man, what am I doing that's using my neck? I know this is just a side topic, but it's this. I figured it out. It's the Oculus Rift. Because you move your head around so much in games. Yeah, I do play games sometimes. Actually, not since I got this. I'll have to do a review on it. Maybe the review's already come out by the time of this video. I don't know. We time warp on YouTube. So, slow PC at the job. Question. Hi, John. At my current employment, I am working a very slow PC. It takes a lot of time to open up Visual Studio or to restart if something went wrong. The biggest problem I'm having with that is I'm losing my concentration when things take too long to load and I suddenly forget what the problem I was trying to solve. I've been there. All right. Is it selfish of me to see this as an issue as a developer because I value time to get things done? Your feedback would be appreciated. So no, it's not selfish of you. This is, okay, the tools, right? I had a guy working at my house and he's like, he's got his tools out and he's like showing me, like it's this Mexican guy, like, and he's like, yo man, look, check out my tools, man. And he's telling me about all this stuff, right? And he's like so proud of his tools because he's like, and he's telling me, he's like, dude, like, you gotta know, like, it's all about the tools. I spend a lot of money on my tools because, like, it's the better the tool, that's how you do a good job, and he's just going off on, telling me about all this stuff. He's so proud of his tools, and he's freaking right? Because, you can judge someone by their tools, right? Especially someone who does a lot of work, and not that good tools will make you a good developer. That's not necessarily the case, but typically a good developer values his tools, right? Someone who's good at their job values their tools and is willing to spend money on those tools, right? I spend money on the tools that I use for doing what I do, right? Let me make sure, actually check my tool, make sure my camera battery is working. I've got this wireless mic that I'm using, right? This was expensive. It was like $400 or $500 microphone, but hey, I got to have quality tools so I can do a quality job. And I don't want to spend time, with a wire, with a lapel mic and stuff like that. So I've invested. I always invest in tools, okay? And you should as well. So here's the thing. I'll give you a couple of thoughts on this. First of all, just go to your boss and just be like, look, just explain it. Just be honest. Just be like, look, just tell it how you told me. Just say, hey, I try to do a good job for you, but I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. It takes me a long time to open up Visual Studio. I know it seems kind of silly to you, but every day, I do this every day, multiple times a day, right? So you can add up the time. It is a lot of time. And then when I'm waiting for a build or, so I get distracted, right? Because, and I actually forget sometimes the problem I was working on, and so I have to context switch and go back into it and waste time, right? So, and just explain to him, and just give him an honest number. Say like, look, dude, I don't call your boss dude. Maybe call you, I don't know, it depends on where you work. But anyway, just be like, look, I spend probably, I don't know, whatever the number is, at least half an hour a day of slowdown that could be saved with a faster computer, and calculate that out and figure out, and say, look, that's a lot of time. So, can we do something? Can we build? Can I get a better workstation? And suggest it and figure out what the cost will be. And do that, try it, see. And you got to do it from that cost appeal to say, like, you're wasting your time. And this is why that, and be honest with it. Don't try and bullshit, just be honest about it. And that you're wasting your time and that you're honestly, like, it's making it harder for you to solve the problems. You do forget the stuff that you're working on. That's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's like, it's truth, right? That's important. So if your boss does not agree, if your boss says, no, we're not getting you a new PC, then you figure out something else that you can work on that's productive while you're waiting. Like, instead of going to Facebook and YouTube, well, you can go to YouTube maybe. I don't know. You watch some simple programmer videos. But my point is, like, instead of going to Facebook and distracting yourself and getting lost, like, figure out something else that you're going to be able to do, or figure out a way that you can stay in the mind frame. So I think you need to have two solutions here. One of them is that if you are working on a problem, you need some way to bring that to paper, or to still, get a whiteboard next to you or a notepad where you can keep working on the problem so that you keep it in your mind so you don't lose that. You need that, right? But if you're not working on a specific problem where you're not afraid of losing the context, but you just get distracted because you're like, oh, I should check my email or Twitter, have something else. Have a technical book that you read during build. I mean, I did this. Okay, I worked at HP back in the day when we flashed firmware. We flashed the firmware onto little EPROMs, right? And so, like, if you built, plus the build took like 2 hours. So I had to figure out, what am I doing during this downtime when I'm flashing ROMs and I'm doing these long builds? And I basically came up with other things that I could do, other tasks I could do, programs I could work out, books that I could read that were keeping me going, because I want to keep on improving my skill. I don't want to waste the time, right? So that's the key thing, is figure out a way that you're not going to waste the time. In addition to that. So that's it. I think that it makes sense to ask your boss. I wouldn't be worried about this. I mean, hell, I've sprung, I'll tell you, I'll be friggin' honest with you, I have sprung for new monitors at my own work out of my own pocket because I felt like dual monitors and high resolution monitors would make me more productive. And I was like, my boss was like, no, I'm not buying it for you. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to buy them because, I'll make this, I think I made this like $600 or $700 investment. And I was like, it makes my job easier. It makes me happier. So heck, you might even ask if you can buy your own workstation or bring in one or something like that. I mean, that's probably not cool in a lot of work environments, but if you can, then do it. I'm all about, what you got to think about. What is going to maximize your productivity and also your enjoyment, right? How you feel about your job. So, do the things that are going to help you, and don't be afraid to ask, right? The worst that someone can do is say no. You got to make big asks. So many of the huge things that have happened in my life have been because I asked something ridiculous and then someone said yes. Surprisingly, it's amazing how often that happens. By the way, if you want to get one of these Simple Programmer t-shirts, go ahead and click the link here, and you can, if you want to know about trusting the process. It's something that I find extremely valuable in life, and that's it for the answer to this question. Click that subscribe button below if you haven't already. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.